Hi, this is Eric Martin with BoardGameGeek. I'm here with Jared Miller from CMON.
Hello.
Looking at Dragon Castle,
Yes.
released by Horrible Games at Spiel 2017, and now brought to the U.S.
Yes, we were very excited when we saw this game, and we had worked with Horrible Games in the past with Potion Explosion, and this has that same great table presence that's backed up by really fun, approachable gameplay that's also deeply strategic once you really get into it. So the core of this game is you have the kind of old home of the Elder Dragon. It's fallen into disrepair, and players have their provinces, which are represented by these boards in front of us. We are doing 3 actions to start with that are removing tiles from here and helping us build up our province.
Okay.
And those actions are represented on these cards, which I don't know if I messed up
Yep.
here. Yep, I did. Okay. So it's pretty simple. So the first one is the one that's shown here is you can draw 1 off the top. So every time you take your first tile, it has to be from the top. So if people are familiar with Mahjong, this is inspired by Mahjong. And for this one, you take 1 from the top.
I did this.
Okay, and then you take a matching one from anywhere else. So in this case, you've done that. You put them on your board in any arrangement you like, face up.
Okay.
So another option would be to take 1 from the topmost layer and 1 shrine. Everyone starts with 1 shrine. These are going to be important once we start making matches, because the core of this game is you make matches with these tiles, following the different suits. And then once you have 4 or more that are touching, not diagonally, but on their sides, then they immediately flip. So in this case, if I wanted to make sure I had some more shrines, I could just grab this one, put it on my board, and I would take a shrine.
Okay.
Third option is you can ditch 1 from the top level. So you would pull it, discard it, set it face down next to your province, and you would get a victory point because you did that. That's a good tactic if you're trying to open up space for you, because one of the things is to draw a tile, you have to have an open side. So if you're trying to get to one, or if you know I'm going after something, you can ditch it before I can get it.
Okay.
So there is a 4th option that's on here. That comes into play when we get to the very bottom level. So after we've gone through the 3rd and 2nd, then we can start choosing, instead of to deal with tiles, we take one of these little dragon tokens. It's worth 2 victory points, and this also counts down to the end of the game. So you'll see here, as you remove these, if I take them, you'll get to the exclamation point. That means whoever, the round finishes until it gets back to the first player, and then you add up victory points. So we'll show some of that scoring now. We'll just kind of grab some tiles off of here. These are not legal moves. So, like I said, normally if I was to do this, and I set this 4th one right here, they'd immediately all flip. And on the back of this card is this, which is our scoring. So if we got that.
Yep.
So if you do 4, you get 2 points. But you'll notice there's much more under there. So you can set up really cool combos. If I chose to put this here, these are not actually a combo yet. So I could now put, another one here if I wanted. And you could get pretty crazy like this. And then if you had 1 more yellow, and if you had 1 more yellow and then put it here, that would trigger all of these. At that point, you would flip all of them, and you would score for 6. Is it? Yeah, I can't count.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know.
That's right.
You'd score for 7. In this case, that's 6 points. 8 points, and as you go above that, you get 1 more point.
Right.
When you flip, depending on the color that you flipped, so in this case, this was another yellow, so I have the option to place 1 shrine. You have to place that from your pool of shrines, which is why it's important to sometimes replenish that. When you place a shrine, it's going to help you towards the end of the game for victory points. So if the game was over, a shrine on a level 1 would count as 1 point. But as you're going, you're making a lot more than what we have on the board, so you could eventually get, I'll just do it on here, like let's say you've stacked up to this point. If you put a shrine on the 3rd level, which is the max you can go, it's going to be worth 3 points.
Right. I guess as well, just mention, so once you flip over, as you're placing tiles, next time you could just end up placing right on
Exactly.
top.
So that's how you get to that level. So what happens is, imagine there was, 2 more yellow tiles here. You don't even have to imagine, I have them right here.
Yeah.
So this actually counts, even though it's on the 2nd level. So when I lay this down, these would all flip. You cannot once you know a shrine's on there, you can't build on top of it anymore.
That's right.
So
They didn't have that technology then to
right,
jack
exactly.
up the roof of the house.
So, maybe you don't want to, because placing the shrine is optional, that's because you may want to build that bottom layer and kind of go up. Now, as I noted, there's different suits. So you've got like factions and special tiles. So the blue and the black, or the flowers and the clouds, that one you have the option of placing 2 shrines.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you do the dragon tiles, that one's 2 shrines and a victory point. So you're going to get that victory point just for flipping that over, in addition to whatever victory points you get for the combo. Then you'll have the choice of placing the 2.
Okay.
And that's the game at its kind of core simple form. The only thing that can make it a little more difficult if you're looking to do that is you can add spirit and dragon cards, which are not required, and they usually suggest once you start off, get a hang of figuring out your combos and playing the game, and then you add one of each or more to increase the difficulty. Dragon cards give players a kind of direction to build towards on their thing. So at the end of the game, when you start adding up the victory points you have in the pile and the victory points you get from your shrines, you then go, okay, did I make these patterns that are shown here? And if you do that, you get the victory points as they show.
Okay.
You have the spirit cards. These are actually in play throughout the entire game for everyone, and during your turn, in addition to one of these actions, you can choose to discard a face-up tile or one of your shrines from your pool to activate the ability on that card. So in this case, it's saying that this is not a valid by just, and what's neat about this game is it's all done through pictures. So it's really easy to understand once you get going through it. Again, the tiles themselves have a great weight to them, so it just feels good playing it. It looks great on the table, and then once you have your own tower built up, it's really cool. And what we're looking at here is a 4-player setup, which is why we have all those players. But the game itself comes with 2 different double-sided boards. This is a 2-player board, so again, a different setup. But on the back of this one is just a grid. And in this case, you can use it to play any type of build you want. So you can make up your own, but in the back of the rulebook, there are a ton of different examples of ways you can set it up. And they suggest, this is best for 2 players, things like that.
Right.
But if anyone plays Mahjong, they will see these, because a lot of these are classic Mahjong setups. But again, you could build your own. So if you want to create kind of like some pixel art out of the tiles, you could do that and have fun with that. The only thing you need to do is use all the tiles for the setup.
Right. And there's some qualifications there, I know. Just make sure there's a certain number
Right.
based on the number of players. Just otherwise you'll be very frustrated.
Well, right. Yeah. But
you-
yeah, so we're really excited about this game because it fits that niche of great presence and fun to play, just like Potion Explosion did. It's from the same people. We'll have it. We're coming out with it May, and it's $49.99.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it.
There you go. Overview Dragon Castle. Thank you, Jared.
You're welcome. Thank you.